Hey guys, so I wanted to share with you another paperless billing headache. You guys know I am very much against paperless bill. I think that it is set up, in my opinion, to people over. And this is the reason why I say this. So, for people who are eco-friendly and they have been, kind of told, oh, okay, save the environment, save the trees, get paperless billing. It's a great thing to do to help the environment. What these companies do not say openly is if you do not receive notification because, let's say, you forgot to make a payment or auto payment for whatever reason got messed up and it didn't go through, then they're going to tack on a late interest charge, and that late interest charge is going to be way more than whatever cost savings the company would save from not mailing you a paper bill. So this is what happened today. I'm going to be very open about it. So I was doing an Amazon Fresh delivery. You guys know I always do this. And after I put in the order, it said that something was wrong with the credit card. And I think, okay, that's kind of weird. This credit card has been going on for over a year. There should be nothing wrong with it. And what happens is it keeps bouncing, and I know immediately something is wrong. Now I also know that it's connected to a bank account. And, I tell Lewis about it. Lewis tells me that he looked at the Amazon account. It says that the account was closed. And I'm thinking, how the hell is the account closed? Now, what happened is last month, for some reason, it didn't pull from the bank account that is on file. Now, there is more than enough money to cover the Amazon bill from that bank account, but something happened. We don't know what. It didn't allow my little $300 or so food budget to for the account to go through, and it bounced back for whatever reason. We don't know why. There was no text message notification, there was no paper notification, and there was simply an email notification. Now, he gets so many emails a day that when that notification came in, he didn't see it. They sent him another notification a few days ago. He didn't see it because he has hundreds and hundreds of emails inside of his account, which, no fault to him. My own personal email account has so much emails because I'm getting emails left and right, spam emails, things that I really need to unsubscribe from. You guys can understand where I'm coming from. Now, once I see that this is happening, I call them up, get the verbal auth going on. I ask them, what happened, and they can't tell me. So we need to call up the bank accounts that the auto payment was connected to and figure out what went on. From what we can see on our side, there should have been absolutely no reason why the auto payment didn't go through, but it just bounced back. So so um Amazon tells me we immediately pay it off in full, and Amazon tells me, they say, okay, you have to call back in 7 days to get the account reinstated. We don't have to make a new account. I'm really happy about that. You remember our Verizon files got canceled because um, the account that was connected on there, the auto payment, he closed it since there was some possible credit card fraud going on. So he had to change the account. He it completely slipped his mind that he had the Verizon linked on that credit card. And then when he closed that credit card and got a new one, they told him, they said, hey, you got to make a new files account. And we had to go through the whole setup. I have to go to Verizon store to return the current box that we have because their dumb system doesn't allow me to keep the current box that we have since we had to make a new account. That took about 2 hours of my life. Okay, so this is really no joke about having accounts closed because of auto payments not going through, what is perceived to be as delinquency. And when we don't get notification of this by a text message and it's solely through email, this is what happens. This is exactly what happens. And I was having this conversation with Lewis today, and I told him, I said, look, I understand that you want to do this whole paper, eco-friendly, save the trees kind of thing, but the thing is that it's causing way more headache by not having a paper bill. If a paper bill went through, and I was seeing it every month that, hey, the auto payment is going through, or hey, the auto payment didn't go through, I would immediately look into it. And that way, that situation would not have happened. The accounts would not be closed. I wouldn't have to deal with setting up new accounts because of this kind of situation. And he agreed that, yeah, we should just do paper bills. I'm really happy about it. And I'm sharing this with you guys, not because I not because, I'm pissed off at him or anything, but rather I think that there needs to always be like a pros and cons chart. Think about, is it worth it? If you're not checking your emails all the time, does that really mean, if you're not checking your emails all the time, is it really smart to have paperless billing? My stance is no. I have auto payment for all my cards. I also get paper bills. I know that I need to see the paper bills because whenever I see a credit card bill, it forces me to look at it. I've told myself, okay, if I get a credit card bill in the mail, first thing I have to do, make sure I check it within that day, open the credit card bill, see what the charges is, visually look at it. There are times where, I will look at the paper bill and I'll see all the charges and I'll get a pen and I'll check it. I'll be like, okay, this looks right, this looks right, this looks right, this looks right. I might not know the exact amount, but if I know that, let's say I went out to buy something, let's say at Best Buy, right? And I made a purchase for $50 and I see a Best Buy bill for $50. That tells me, okay, that's a true charge. Like, I know that. I don't keep my receipts for everything, but I do have like a ballpark figure of what is being spent on. So, um, what I did tell them is for Verizon, for Amazon, I said, hey, I do not want paperless bills. I need paper bills, and I also want to have text message notification. A lot of these systems, when they're set up, if you do paperless billing, they're not going to automatically send you a text message. It'll be like, check your email, and if you don't check your email, then haha, if you're late on the payment, then we get interest fees. Yeah. So the interest fee for the Amazon bill, I think, was about 30 or 40 bucks. I can't remember off the top of my head. And Amazon is probably, that credit card company is probably laughing and say, yeah, look at this green person trying to be all eco-friendly here. And then their auto payment didn't go through. So instead of them losing out, I don't know, 20 cents per mailer out, they get paid $30, $40 because of that late fee, which would have been completely avoidable. Completely avoidable. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Moving forward, making sure everything is paper bill, auto payment. I'm checking the mail at least 3 times a week, and I make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. I've seen what happens when bills are not on auto payment. If you tell yourself, oh, okay, I'm gonna just, instead of doing auto payment, I want to make sure that the account, that I see everything, right? And if you don't do auto payment and you don't have paper bills, then what happens? If you don't check that paperless bill, the account's going to go into arrears because you don't have auto payment set up. So I think it's very important, have auto payment set up, have paper bills, and also set up that text message notification. This stuff is free. If a credit card company decides to send you a paper bill for whatever reason, F them, just can them. There's certain credit card companies that I know out there that want to charge you $2 for a paper bill, and I'm like, frick that company. It's like one of those, it's not one of those big credit card companies, but it's one of those like no name ones that I think are very predatory. That's just my stance on it. For me, I use like Visas, I use Citi card, I have a Discover, and yeah, it's that's the way I would roll. I wouldn't be using these like small time things where they try to charge you for paper bills. Like, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm sharing this with you guys because I don't want to see you guys get tacked on with late fees that would have been completely avoidable. I also don't want your accounts getting closed because you had paperless bill, you had money in the bank account to pay it, but for whatever reason, the auto payment didn't go through, and then they tell you, yeah, we're canceling your account, you got to set up a new one, or you need to call back in 7 days to make sure the payment went through. I spoke with Amazon, that credit card company, and I told them, I said, you don't have anything in your system in place to make sure that once the payment is goes through, that you guys can automatically reinstate or make a notation on file. And they said, no, you got to call back. So it's just, it's a complete headache, but I do see it as a learning experience, and I wanted to share it with you guys so that way you do not waste your time on this kind of stuff. It just, it's grating, but moving forward, I know this will not happen. I'm really happy about it. I because of this experience, like I said, I can share it with you guys. Hopefully, you guys save countless of hours not being on the phone with phone representatives to tell you, yeah, we can't do anything, set up a new account, or oh, we can do something, but call back, and you might have a long wait time. Yeah. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, hold up, you guys. I'm gonna read the chat. He does have a personal email address. The problem is that it turns into a situation where he gets so many emails from his personal stuff that it just gets overwhelming. You know, he has his work email, he has his personal email, and it's if you have a personal email for like a number of years, that you can imagine all that crap that's getting sent there. So the fail safe that we have in place is auto pay, paper bill, and let's say this way, right? Let's say we have auto payment set up and payment bounces, right? I will be able to catch it in the event that this happens because I'll see notification as the paper bill in the mail, and I will then tell him. But let's say I don't check the mail, or I'm in Hawaii and for whatever reason we don't see the mail. We have text message set up. So if I don't catch it, or if he doesn't catch a paper bill, text message notification goes over to his phone. So that's going to be even better. So when we have paper bill, text message, and email, which I consider to be useless, that's three fail safes. And that is really something that's necessary. It's really no joke, having to deal with all this stuff in the late phase. This is something that I wish was stressed out, but stressed to people. That's why, I'm a very eco-friendly person. I strongly believe in it, but I also think you need to be eco-friendly with yourself in terms of the amount of time that you spend on something, and also, the green, which is in your life, which is money, right? It's no joke having to do with these late fees. I really believe that companies push paperless billing because they see it as an upside. They save money by not and they save money and resource not having to mail this stuff out. However, it comes at a cost to the consumer in the event that they have a late fee or a penalty because they did not get notification since they don't have the paper bill, or they didn't check their email. Oh, George, yeah. I got some distilled water. I just ordered it off Amazon Fresh. It was like 89 cents for a gallon, which I thought was very, very affordable. It's raining right now in New York, so I don't really want to go out. So I figure if I'm already doing my Amazon Fresh delivery, my Whole Food delivery, just add that in my order. So I'm gonna water him with distilled water only. I really do care for that plant. I want to try and rehab it in that way. So that, and also get a spray bottle so I can shoot him with some distilled water and see how that goes. Hydration, he needs humidity, he needs hydration. It's a very finicky plant, but I have hope in the little guy. Oh my goodness. Sir, repetitious. They charge you $4 a month for paper statements? That's ridiculous. Like it costs 32 cents to mail out something. Um, I know for this kind of stuff, this is mass done. So it's not like it's taking a lot of time for these employees to do that. And I say this as a person who used to work in a billing department and also used to work in a mail department as well. Yeah. Yeah, I really think that the thing that people should not cut out in their life is paper bills. I absolutely believe that 100%. You guys know I'm really big on recycling. I'm really big on um, reducing food waste, trying to salvage things, but I will not compromise on the paper bills because the amount of green money that's going to be bleeding out in the event that that little paper bill didn't arrive at this doorstep, it's gonna be, you look at the pro and con list. There's way more cons than pros. I also think of it this way too. USPS is delivering this mail, so I'm helping USPS by having it sent out. It's not much, but USPS needs more money. So I could care less if the company's like, yeah, we're gonna spend 20 or 30 cents mailing this out to you. I'm like, to hell with it. They make so much money on late fees. Yeah. I mean, the 30 or $40 in late fees alone, man, that company, if I was that credit card company, I would say, let's make an ad campaign telling everybody to move over to paperless billing. Yeah, like spend the money, tell everybody, do you want to be green? Do you care about the environment? Go paperless billing because there's going to be a chunk of the population who do not check their emails or do not have that text message notification set up. And yeah, and then the company will be like, yeah, we spent that money on advertisement, but we made a bunch of money because of late fees. Ha ha ha. Yeah. We do recycling too. So for me, I recycle the envelopes, I recycle the piece of papers as much as I can. Of course I take out the sensitive information. Highly recommend get a paper shredder if you want. We don't have a paper shredder, but I really think it's a great idea getting a paper shredder. Yeah. So and well, you know what? It's a there is no negative for a company not having paper bills. They save money sending it out. If people do not pay their bill because they didn't get notification, they make more money than whatever money they would save by sending out the bill because of late fees. Late fees are really no joke. They tack on this, they tack on that, and imagine this, right? Let's say you have like a running late fee. They'd be like, okay, well you were in arrears 1 month and then you didn't pay for the second month, so we add on more late fees. That's how they get you. And I still have to figure out why that bank account didn't have the auto payment go through because it's been set up for a while. I know that there's, more than enough money to pay for that $300 Amazon bill, but it seems like something went on and it just didn't pull. I don't know if it was accidentally removed the auto pay or what happened, but I have to call the bank account and figure out what happened. Yeah, we get paper bills for our gas and our electric. I remember, listen to this. I know there are some people who don't, I know some people who think, yeah, I'm not gonna do auto pay because I'm gonna make sure that I check my bill all the time. People are busy, people are busy. If they tell themselves they're gonna check it out on, let's say, the 21st of every month and something happens, they're not checking the 21st and then it slips their mind and they'll get a late fee, right? I do not blame people for not checking things really for things that they want to manually pay because I don't think they should feel bad about it. But I do think there are systems in place to discourage that. I know my shortcomings. I will not be manually checking my credit card bill every single month, let's say on the 21st, and make manual payments to these companies. That's why I have auto payment set up. And I also know I do not check my email all the time, so that's why I get paper bills set up too. And then I also have text message notifications set up as well. So if I'm not checking my email, which I know I don't check anyway, and if I'm not checking the mail, let's say I'm on vacation, or let's say I'm away, then at least I have that text message, and then I can contact the company from there and say, hey, what's going on. I know I'm gonna have at least internet access wherever I am if I'm on vacation or if I'm out of state. Oh, congratulations, your little house is paid off. That is really something that I've heard is very relieving when a house is paid off or when a car is paid off. It's like having a weight off your shoulders. So that's a really great thing. But I think about like the prices of housing now. Oh my gosh, it's sickening. It's sickening. I was looking at Reddit prepping today, and I read something very kind of funny. There was some people who said, "Hey, in case shit hits the fan, have you guys thought about going away from the lower 48 and moving over to Hawaii or Alaska?" And I was thinking, Hawaii? Are you kidding me? Hawaii's so freaking overpriced. I would not want to bug out in Hawaii. Definitely not on Oahu, Honolulu, Hawaii. It is so population dense. It's kind of like being in New York. There, you don't really have, if you're a city girl like I am, you're not gonna be able to, have a shelter. You're not gonna have any place to bug out. It's apartments right next to each other and houses right next to each other. It's congested. If you want to go out to, let's say, a more remote area of Oahu, you can. But yeah, I rather just stay in Honolulu. That's me though. It's me. Yep. 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 Oh yeah, Kauai I heard is nice. Maui I heard is getting up there. A lot of the places in Hawaii is getting up there in property value. So yeah, I had Clinton over here and then Clinton went away and I think Oreo's sleeping, so you guys just get a shot of the floor right now. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of worried about what's gonna happen in the future. I really am. I've been reading up on some things, been doing research. You guys know I'm interested in prepping. I'm interested in being prepared. I mean, we obviously are not bunkering down for the next 2 years in this tiny little itty bitty apartment. But if anything happens, we have some supplies over here, which I think is really important. Now, one of the things that I really should do, and this is kind of stupid of me, but I have time to fix this, is make sure the cats have an extra month supply of food. And the reason behind that is let's say their shipping gets delayed for their cat food, or shipment goes late, comes out late, or um, we don't get it. It's good to make sure that I have a month's supply out so it covers. I mean, like it'll be extra food, but I can always just not get shipment for 1 month, right? If I find that I have too much, and that's easier to do rather than find myself in a situation where the cats don't have any food at all. I think I have, let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I have like maybe about 5 days extra for food whenever the shipment comes in, but that's really not good. So I have to fix my habits on that. I'm gonna have to order more food for this one. Yeah, yeah. I don't want the cats to eat us alive. Lord knows how Oreo is. So I've been putting Oreo on a slight diet. He's been a total crybaby. And I know it's just Oreo because Clinton is not asking me for food. Barry's not asking for me for food. Oreo is screaming, bloody murder over here because he has a little less food. So if Clinton, who is a bigger cat than Oreo, is not begging me for food, Blackberry's not asking me for food, and the tubbiest cat, the fattest cat in the household, is crying because he doesn't have food. I don't know. I don't really take that food thing very seriously. He's just a tubby cat. That's all. He's gaining weight. He definitely gained weight from last year for sure. Absolutely. When people see Oreo, they're like, "Wow, he got a little tubby." I'm like, "Yeah, but Oreo cries for food more often." So he's on a slight diet. He's not too happy about it. I'm trying to get him to be a little svelte. It's not to a point though that I'm withholding food from him. Like I said, the other two cats have no problem with it. Just Oreo loves his food. He likes to eat, and he is the cat that goes to the food bowl the first. He also is the cat that stays at the food bowl the longest, and he is also the cat who always asks me for food. Like the other two cats will be like, "Hey, just feed it whenever." But Oriole's like, "Hey, I'm hungry. I'm really, really hungry. Give me food right now." I give him food. He runs over to the food bowl. He stays there, like I said, the longest of all the three cats. And 2 hours later, he's like, "I'm hungry again." Oh, for frick's sake, Oreo. He will whine and cry and give me the whiniest meal, like, you're starving me. And I look at this cat, I'm like, "I just fed you 2 hours ago, Oreo. You don't need more food. Like cut it out, Oreo. You don't need this much food." He has a very cute face, but I've read online, they say if you really love an animal and you really care for it, you gotta put your foot down. You can't. I don't want him to start thinking that every time he cries to me, I'm gonna give him food. Because if that was the case, right, he would be a very, very, very fat cat. He has food. He has water. The other two cats are fine. The cat that's sizably stronger and heavier and bigger than him is fine. But yeah, it's just Oreo just loves his food. Yeah, I don't know if he's the youngest. It's only like maybe by a couple years. I know Clinton is. I think Clinton's gonna turn 13. Oreo is like 8 to 10 years old. Barry, I think, is about 11 or 12. I can't remember off the top of my head. But based on the demeanor, based on the energy level, it's hard to believe that Oreo is the youngest cat, because he is definitely the cat that's the most, the cat that expends the less energy, cat that doesn't do sprints. Clinton does sprints back and forth around the house. Oreo, he does sprints in his mind. He will go to sleep for a couple hours in the same spot, and he only wakes up, and when he wakes up, you know what he wants? He wants food immediately. Once he gets off that bed, he's already crying to me for food. I'm like, "Oh gosh, Oreo, the life of this cat. It's just sleep, eat, and then poop. And then after he poops, sometimes we have to wipe his butt." So yeah, I think that's why Lewis gives Oreo some crap. He's like, all this cat does is sleep, and then he begs for food, and after he gets the food, then he poops, and then we have to wipe his butt, and then he goes back to sleep, and then he goes eating again. Yeah, yeah. So it's just, I don't want Oreo to be like a sumo wrestler. I want him to go to the vet, and the vet say that he is he's looking a little bit more trim. But every time I brought Oreo to the vet, they're like, "Yeah, this cat needs to lose a little weight. He's overweight." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And then I know he's progressively gaining weight, so I feel like I'm failing, because every time he's going to the vet, he's getting heavier and heavier, but he's also getting whinier and whinier over time. So he wants more food. Yeah, he wants more food over time, and he's getting heavier over the time, and the vet keeps telling me he needs to lose weight. Yeah. Ah, yeah, yeah. So we still Glandix butt wipes are definitely still used around the house. We have some left, so I haven't put it on the kitty wish list. But when we get down to like 1 or 2 bottles left, we're gonna put it back on the kitty wish list. I wish I could tell you we stopped using those butt wipes, but they definitely still get used. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, so Lewis, he's told me that he wants to live. He goes off and he looks on these real estate listings in the remote areas. He mentally gets away from New York, because over here we live in like a 1,100 square foot apartment. In, let's say, Delaware or Michigan or Wyoming, you can see 8,000 square foot places, 10,000 square foot places. It looks like a castle. Some of these places have basketball courts. I think he made a video on that. it's great to see it, but I know realistically, first of all, he likes having windows on top of windows. I tell him, who the hell is going to clean these windows? And he's like, well, Erica, you can clean the windows. I'm like, what? You see me going on a freaking ladder, going up 2 stories to clean these windows? No, it's not happening. And then I look at the yard and I see like acres of mowed lawn, and I tell myself, I don't want to be mowing this yard out, taking care of basketball courts and mowing acres of land by myself, cleaning 2-story windows. No, no. So I'm trying to tell him, like, get it down to maybe like 2,000, 3,000 square feet top. He doesn't need, a freaking fortress over here. Because if he has a fortress, I tell you this, I would be losing these cats so easily. Something like 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. There are so many places those cats can hide if it's some kind of 8,000 square foot, compound. I'm gonna be like, have you seen Oreo in the last few days? Because I don't know where he is. I'd have to do spot checks of every single room, check every single place, and then if he has an accident somewhere, and how much cleaning will that be just to trick all those cats? Yeah. So, it's just, yeah. So I don't want anything that big. And I understand, like, some people would say, bigger is better, but my take is it's not really good to have that big of a space, especially if only 2 people and 3 cats are going to be living there and you don't foresee yourself really having guests. Like, who would you be playing basketball with? Not me, I tell you that. I'm not very hand-eye coordinated, so I have no use for a basketball court. Um, yeah, it's just that's it. You have to kind of think, is there a can you live in a space where you can use you need all that square footage, or is it unnecessary? Yard maintenance is definitely a real thing. Having a giant, beautiful pool is really nice, but most likely you have to hire someone to take care of the pool. Because look, I am not going to be mowing acres of land, washing multiple stories of windows here, taking care of basketball courts, and cleaning a pool all by myself. Like, that is not going to happen. It's just too much freaking work, especially if it's like a 8,000, 10,000 square foot compound with multiple bathrooms, multiple windows, multiple hiding spots, multiple things that need, um, you know, taken care of. It's like, that's the reason why people outsource this kind of thing, and they have people like landscapers, window washers, pool cleaners. Yeah, so that's just, yeah, like, I know Lewis works really hard and everything, and I understand why he wants to have this like giant big place, especially if it's in, some remote area, and let's say it's affordable depending where it is, or what seems to be affordable compared to New York standards, right? I mean, like, over here, like the place that we live in, this little apartment, the whole building is like over $2 million. It's crazy. It's crazy. When I look at this place, I'm like, this freaking $2 million, frick. But yeah, Lewis is gonna wanna, in my opinion now, I think he would want to get a place that he sees it as a mecca. He'll look at the picture, realtor pictures, like, man, this looks so great. But I will look at it and I'll say, do you really need to have a glass enclosed indoor pool over here? Who's gonna take care of the windows all around the pool? You know those houses, and they have like the outdoor pool, but they have windows all around the pool, so it kind of looks like a greenhouse. Yeah, who do you think's gonna take care of all those glass windows? If he doesn't want to hire it out, it would fall on me or nobody, and I know that. So I urge him to, think about that way, because even if he sees a place and he's like, oh yeah, this looks like it's, it looks great, it looks beautiful, it has a pool, it has multiple kitchens, it has a great basement, it has a tower that looks like it goes up to the sky, and a basketball court, and, a tennis court or whatever is there, right? It's like all this stuff needs maintenance, and I think, like, if you have a place that big and you're not foreseeing really entertaining, it can be really lonely. I think it can also be kind of depressing. Yeah. So So yeah, it's like I don't want to really have the whole thing where you get such a big place and then there's this expectation where it looks showroom ready, or you have all this cleaning and all this stuff to maintain, but it just doesn't work out. Like I cannot, I tell you this for a fact, I will not mow multiple acres of yard. I will not take care of the pool and clean um, two-story windows over here. I'm not going to go out and go on a huge ladder just to clean the windows on top of the windows. That's why these things get hired out. Like if you have a big tree, right? Who has to cut the tree when it has to be pruned back? You have to hire people for that. You don't do it all yourself. I think if you foresee yourself using that pool a lot, it's worth it. For me, I'm not really a swimmer. Lewis would be going swimming, but the thing about having a pool is you gotta make sure that you have the levels right, you clean it, you take out all the leaves. You don't want it turning green. If you're not on top of it, make sure the filter doesn't break, the pump doesn't break. It's not it's not so simple from my understanding of it. It's not like it just takes care of itself. There's a lot of maintenance involved. And that's why people who normally have these kind of houses, they have people like landscapers and window cleaners and pool boys or pool women, or um, people, or uh, house cleaners to take care of this kind of stuff. Like you have a small little army taking care of these compounds, or what seems to kind of be like a mansion compared to living in New York. Not okay, just have one of these people do all this stuff, and then yeah, we'll just get like a 20-foot ladder and hope she knows how to clean the window. No, no, I put my foot down on that. Like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to go ahead and slip off a roof and then break a few bones just because you wanted to save money on cleaning the windows. That's what I'm trying to get at. I knew a person, right? So I knew a person. He had a family member, um, his son actually. His son, I think, was either cleaning windows or installing solar panels. I cannot remember off the top of my head which one it was, but he didn't strap himself in and he was on the roof. He ended up dying. Yeah. So for whatever reason, he was on the roof. I forgot if it was for solar window installation or if it was for cleaning windows, but he slipped, wasn't harnessed in, and died because he fell. So, window washing it's not like everybody can do it. There's a reason why this stuff gets hired out. It's for safety reasons. I do not want to be one of those people who are, you know, um, save a penny, but then you end up with $1,000 of hospital bills because you decided to go out yourself without any harnesses, without any safety equipment to clean a window yourself, and yeah, and break a bunch of bones. It's not worth it to me. So yeah, Mac repair for the cheap price of cleaning windows. Mm-mm. City life is fine. I like city life. I like it because we do not have to have a car. Everything is within walking distance, so we can easily get there. If I wanted to take the train, which is the subway, I can get there and then just hop back on, or I can take an Uber or Lyft. But if we lived in a remote area, for sure we're gonna need a car. For sure, if something breaks down, you might have to make an appointment depending where you are. That's going to be very spaced out because you do not have people who can just drive on by within the next 15 minutes, depending where you are, because there are some very remote areas. So yeah, I just want to share that little blurb with you. If you guys do look at houses online or just to mentally get away, and I don't think this is really a good time to buy. I've my personal thought is I think there's a lot of instability that can come in with the economy right now. I think that if people are looking, there are certain people who are moving away from like New York because they see it as unsafe. They see it as, okay, if anything happens in New York, let me move over to, Idaho, let me move over to Montana, and that's going to be safer. I don't know. What if something happens in Montana? What happens if something happens in Idaho, right? I don't want to flee a place just assuming that those other states that I'll be going to is going to be safe as well, because I see it as, and this is just my opinion here, I see there being economic issues for sure within the next year, especially with how things are going. I've I've seen a lot of places they're closing down in New York, for and when people lose their jobs, right? That has a ripple effect, because if people lose their jobs, they don't have that much spending money. They are saving money. They're not spending at a grocery store. If the grocery store isn't selling so many groceries, they might lay off some people, order less food. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not just if someone loses their job, it just affects them. It has a ripple effect. So I think it's going to be pretty deep. I don't know how deep. I do strongly believe in saving money, trying to, I don't want to say make investments in things, because there's been talk, and I've read it online. Some people say like the stock market is heavily in a bubble right now. You got people who say, hey, I got $2,000. Let me throw it into Apple, right? Because everyone's buying Apple. It could just be a bubble. It could be overvalued. It probably is overvalued, being honest here. But we don't know how low will be, and it kind of makes me think about how times are changing. When I was, when I had that subway incident a few days ago, where that one person, they tried to scam me with that broken bottle scam. That is a scam. Thank you so much for pointing that out to me, you guys. So, in case you guys missed my stream from a few days ago, I was coming home from diving. I had something like 50 bags of gummy bears. I had a whole bunch of alcoholic gummy bears on me. Basically, it was about $300 worth of stuff. I mean, I was overloaded with stuff, you guys. So I come out of the subway. I'm walking up the stairs as careful as can be, because this is about 40 pounds of stuff that I have on me, on my back, on my bags. I I'm walking very, very, very slowly. Let me stress that, super slowly. And this guy drops his bottle, and it's inside of a plastic bag. He instantly tells me that that was $35 of alcohol. He wants me to pay for it. I tell him, I don't have my ID on me. And, I tell him I don't have my credit card on me. He instantly says, I know you went shopping because I see you with all that stuff. So I know you have a card. And that sent off some warning signs to my antennas, even though I was not familiar with the scam before. And now that I think back at it, there are people that if they see you with a whole bunch of stuff, they might say, hey, this person has a lot of money, or hey, this person has a lot of discretionary spending. I told him up front, I said, no, I did not buy this. I went dumpster diving. And Tio was kind of taken aback. So I really recommend to you guys, just watch your surroundings. Be careful what you show, because for me, I didn't think about it that way. I just thought like, yeah, I have a whole bunch of stuff, but so what? I'm just going to go home and yeah, I have a lot of gummy bears, but it's no big deal to me. it really stood out to me that people could eye me out for that situation and say, hey, that's a chick to rob, because she has so much stuff on her. She probably has, she probably spent so much money, and this is the ideal person to rob. It made me very aware that I do not want to carry too much stuff on me when I'm, or openly like that very visibly, because that would just be putting myself in danger. So that was a learning experience for me. And I want to share it with you guys because I do not want you guys to be in harm's way either. Just really something to think about. If you walk out of a store and you're not immediately going to the car, or if you are going to the car, right? Or if you're walking home with a bunch of groceries, be on the lookout and be very aware that there might be a person who says, hey, this is the person who I want to possibly rob. This is the person that I want to possibly scam. I don't want anything happening to you guys. So that was the good thing about that experience. And now I'm very aware. In New York, they say if anybody tries to talk to you, just keep walking. I understand why they say that, because there are going to be people who try to scam you, who try to, bump into you and say, hey, you broke this or you broke that, pay me. Yeah. And so the way the scam works is they try to prey on people and make them feel bad. For him, he saw me with all this stuff. I was a easy target to pick, right? Female, looks like would be easily guilted into situations, and yeah. So he had two bottles on him. I saw that, like, one was like a Bacardi 151. The other bottle, so it was like this big, right? So he claimed that he had two bottles, and it was like $35 worth of alcohol. I don't buy alcohol. I'm not too familiar with the price of Bacardi 151 like this is. He had another bottle, and I asked him specifically, what was the second bottle? And then he starts cursing. He said, like, hey, you want me to fucking cut my finger on the glass? And I'm like, no, 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 I just want to know what the other bottle is. And he's really hesitant to show me what the other bottle is. Now that I look at it, looking back, he was agitated because he didn't want me to question him. He wanted me to instantly pay him, ideally. And when I told him, like, I was going to call, does he want me to call the cops? It was not because I was feeling threatened, but because I didn't feel we were going to get to a solution. If the cop felt that, I was at fault, I would be like, okay, I'll write you a check. I'll give you the cash for it, later on. But I didn't feel like there was going to be any solution with him not wanting to show me the second bottle at all. So, yeah, once I brought up the cop, he asked me if, he basically shouted at me, like, are you retarded? Da 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 da, get the fuck out of here. And in my opinion, the reason why he acted that way is A, he did not want the cops involved, and B, he knew his jig was up. He knew if I got the cops involved, 100% he would not be getting anything. Let's see here. There a video that tells how I met Lewis? So there's no real story. We came in contact with each other. He came to Hawaii, met me, that kind of thing. That's about it. Yeah, so there's an alcohol scam and there's another scam too, and I want you guys to be aware of this in case you guys go to New York. So I've seen this before, right? There'll be people who have CDs and they'll be like, "Hey, this is my mixtape or this is my, album. Hey, I want to give it to you," right? So if they hand it to you, right, they're gonna say, "Oh, what's your name?" And you say something like, "Oh, my name's Erica." They're gonna whip out a Sharpie, sign the name, to Erica, and they'll be like, "Here, $10." Even if you didn't ask them to give it to you, they're going to try and give it to you and say, like, you owe them because they wrote your name on it and they can't sell it to anybody else. So they're going to be like, no, you owe me $10 because I wrote Erica on it. And I've seen people like that. I've seen people around. I just haven't interacted with them because I thought to myself, like, who the hell uses CDs anymore? Like, even if someone gives me a mixtape or a CD, I have no real reason to get the CD. Well, okay, what am I gonna do with a CD? Buy a CD drive, get a CD drive, hook it up just to listen to their mixtape? No, give me the link on YouTube or something instead. So do not accept things from people in New York. If someone tries to give you a CD or an item, just that's why they say don't talk to anybody. Just keep walking. If anybody tries to stop you, just or if they say like, hey, you broke my beer bottle or you bumped into me so I broke this expensive vase. It's yeah, just ignore them because this happens not only in New York, but I heard that this happens in China as well. People are trying to scam people and say, yeah, I was trying to transport a vintage vase and then you bumped into me and this is like $100 vase, so I want $100. And they will usually prey on people who look like tourists. In this neighborhood, I do not look like, I am definitely a minority. So let me put it that way. So there is a chance that someone could look at me and say, "Oh, this person doesn't look like they really live here," or if they look like they are here, it looks like they haven't, they are not like a entrenched New Yorker based on my demeanor. Yeah. Why don't I sit in the chair while I'm doing my videos? Oh, that is a good point. I should actually. I should. Oh, I adore Kit Boga. Oh my goodness, I love Kit Boga so much. I love his. Oh my goodness, what's the name? Oh, the old woman. Oh, I just watched him yesterday too. Oh my gosh, what was the name for the old woman? Oh, yeah, I love it. I love watching Kit Boga so much. I think what he does is really great. If you guys aren't familiar with Kipoga, he calls up these scam artists. You know those people who are in foreign countries that try to be like, yeah, you want $1 million, or I want to give you some money, but then oh, whoops, I overpaid you, so give me some money back. And he tries to waste his time with them on the phone, or they want him to go out and buy Google Play cards, and instead of giving them the number, he will just redeem it himself. So they will rage it, but like, no, I don't want you to redeem it yourself. I want you to give me the number so I can redeem it. Yeah, it's like I watch Boga quite often. I don't listen to his whole thing, but I get a good kick out of it. I think that he's very talented in what he does. I do not think that I could be doing the thing that he does, in terms of thinking on his feet, and that the way he changes his speech to sound more like an old lady. Not just his voice now, but what he says, like honey or dear, or yeah, it's or he goes off on these tangents, and it's completely realistic. Yeah, I absolutely adore Kit Boga. I think he does a great thing. His grandma was scammed, if I remember correctly, and then from that experience, he's used that personal experience as one of his driving factors on why he wastes the time of other scammers. Oh, Gertrude. There was this one video I was watching yesterday. I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was like he said something along the lines of it was like the angriest scammer, and the person was like raving and pissed off about something. It's yeah, I didn't get to watch the whole thing because most of the time these things are an hour long, right? And if it's an hour long, I'm like, oh, I don't really want to listen to the whole freaking thing. I just want to listen to the highlights. They really get riled up sometimes. Like I said, he's amazing. He can keep a straight face. I think even if I had a voice changer, um, it would not be a good experience for me. I'd probably be laughing through the voice changer, even if it was a ho 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 ho. Yeah, yeah. If you guys watch him, you get to hear his background noises like going to Target. He has the background image of him driving in the car, and sometimes he wears a wig. There was this one scammer that he tried to get them to like FaceTime or Zoom or Skype with him, and he wore a wig and he put on makeup. I was like, wow. The pixelation was so bad though, and then yeah, you could tell the scammer son was like, oh, that chick looks kind of harsh. It was just yeah, it just like the wig looks super fake. Yeah, scammers don't really have much ethics because they get paid to do it. You know, they see it as they don't really care about how people might feel or how they might get affected. To me, like the way I see it, for someone to do that to me and lie to my face and try to scam me in my face and make me feel bad about myself, if I, with that knowledge, now if I saw that guy again, man, I would have zero hesitation on calling the cops. I'd be like, I know you're a scammer. I know what you're trying to do, and absolute scumbag move. Was that the one where he said like his brother was doing? I can't remember the name, but he had like this blonde wig on. He had some foundation on his cupid's bow, in between his right below the nose and the upper lip. Oh my goodness. Yeah, mail theft. How did you know it was mail theft? I need a cat here. Oreo! Oreo! I think he's sleeping on the job. Hold up. I'm gonna get Oreo. Let's see where Oreo is. Oh, actually, wait a second. I forgot this guy. See, I can't sit in the chair because guess who is here? Look at that guy. I didn't realize Clinton was all behind me. I know, Clinton. Look at you. Oh, Danny, you know what? Don't mention that, okay? I'm a little salty about Oreo losing subscribers. I think it's a conspiracy. I think it is a conspiracy that Oreo cat is the cat that loses subscriber. Personally, I am rooting for Oreo a lot. It pains me a little when I see Oreo's video stats because he is my favorite cat, and it seems that he doesn't bring much subscribers for whatever reason. He loses subscribers. Uh, I know. Surprise, surprise, Oreo's sleeping. Oh, look at you. Clinton. Emma? Yeah, Clinton's videos absolutely slaughter Oreos. I'm a little salty about it because, I'm on Team Oreo over here. Just a little. Just a little. Blackberry is probably sleeping. She's probably on the bed right now. Blackberry is kind of she how would I say it? Like she likes being alone, so even if I try to stream her, sometimes she'll just kind of move away. Something. Yeah, she's very shy. She's very shy, except you usually see her on camera. Oreo, you will probably never see him on stream on this chair because, well, he has to jump to get to this chair, and Oreo's very, power save over here. So he doesn't like to jump on the chair. As a result of that, that's why you only see Clinton and Blackberry. It's not because we don't want him on the chair, but he doesn't want to use the energy to jump on the chair. Which one's a super fat one? Well, The black and white one is the super fat one. That's my tubby tub. This is Clinton. You can tell the difference between Clinton and Barry. Two reasons. A, he's bigger, so he'll use up more space on the armchair. And then second of all, he has a white whiskers. He has white whiskers. So if you see the white whisker, that's Clinton. And he also makes noise. There is 3 gray couches, 1 brown couch, and 1 blue rush chair. 1 blue armchair over here. I gotta get rid of like 2 of those couches. I was thinking about getting rid of them, and then I thought, oh frick, Oreo likes to sleep on one of the couches. And then I thought, oh, should I get rid of the other couch? And then I thought, oh my god, I don't want to lug it down all these flights of stairs by myself. Yeah, it's kind of tough because if we bring the thing downstairs, we got to make sure it doesn't rain, and then we also want to work with coordination as well. Yeah. No more Oreo stair exercise for a while. Barry usually, okay, so I made that rope blanket, but I didn't do a very good job at it, because you can see like the stitches are kind of wide, so I have to redo it. So if you look at it over here, it's a little, like over here, it's a lot more coarse than it is down there. I messed it up. I messed it does. Auction the couch on his channel. How the hell are we gonna ship it? That's what I want to know. What do I do for a living? I make his life a little sweeter. I help make his life easier. He has a lot. He's really busy. You guys might have a feel for this, but basically when he wakes up, he's in work mode. So for me, I try to, I take care of the cats, I do laundry, I buy the groceries, I pack his lunch, I make him his food. A lot of the household things he doesn't have to worry about at all. So that's why with the bill stuff, right? I check the mail, so I try to keep very on top of the bills. I also do, like with stuff that I feel like we need, like if we're getting low on protein powder, I'll order it. So he doesn't have to worry about a whole bunch of stuff. He can just focus on his work. He can focus on his YouTube channel, his YouTube videos. He was recording a video earlier today. I think it was a Tesla one. Yeah, he premiered that. So while he was doing that, I was doing other stuff around. So we work as a team, and even though it might not seem like, even though you guys don't see what I do most of the time, it's like all these little things, because he doesn't have to think about it. It makes his life easier. He can go on autopilot. He doesn't have to worry about, okay, what's he going to do about the laundry? What's he going to do about his lunch? What's he going to do about his dinner? What's he going to do about the cats? He basically has a backseat on that. And with the auto payments and the bills and things like that, he doesn't have to worry about it. As long as I see it. So, yeah. So when he has situations about, let's say, like the auto payment stuff not going through, I want to handle that. I want to make sure that that's off his plate, because if he's spending time on this stuff, right, on customer service, he's not able to do other things. So usually I'm the verbal authorized representative, so I can talk to them on the phone for like 1 or 2 hours and work things through. He doesn't have to worry about this stuff. Yeah, but you know what? Like, I think if you look at Lewis and you look at how his life is, it's so straightforward that I think he could use a little sweetness in his life. You guys see all the flowers he has around here. You guys see his... Actually, let me show you guys this. So you guys see all the flowers over here. See that? So these are all the flowers here. You guys can see all the stuff over here. See that? Oh, there's my water, because I was over there. My Christmas tree, things like that. And then there's my plant over there. Yeah. So I have everything kind of set up, so it makes it a little bit more not so stressed out for him. He doesn't have to worry about this stuff. That's what I try to get at. His life can be very stressful. He has a lot of things on his mind. It's not like he has, it's not like he doesn't do anything. You guys know he has 20 things running in his mind a lot of the time. So the small little things definitely help out. How do I get rid of this stupid thing? Yeah, I have a little Christmas tree thing, a decoration thing. You guys can see it over here. See, so I found that a couple days ago in a dive. So I saw this and the top got broken off, but I just kind of balanced it on. Christmas tree farm. There's our mistletoe, so our first mistletoe from 2019. That was our first Christmas together. And those are the roses. I put Crowning Glory spray on them. I got them on Saturday and they look quite good. Yeah, I might have to add more water. It's getting a little low, but you can see I've been trying to work on my fresh flower stuff. Crowning Glory spray, highly recommend it. Don't buy it on Amazon. I think it's like double the price on Amazon. But if you do not have access to like a floral store for whatever reason, just buy it on Amazon. I see the spray lasting a while. We have the spray bottle version of it. If you guys have cut flowers, or if you, and this is what I would say, if you guys buy your flowers from Trader Joe's, which is what I highly recommend, or Whole Foods, buy Crowning Glory floral spray, because what it does is it kind of keeps the hydration in the flower so it lasts a little longer. So I have, I really think it's worth it. If you do not use that spray, I can definitely tell the difference in the flowers. I idiotically forgot to do only half. So I wanted to do half and then show you how one half looks like with it and one half looks without it. But I did the whole thing. And then after I did the whole thing, I was like, I wanted to show you guys on stream what the difference is. But that never got around. That's why I haven't really showed this bouquet to you guys. Oh, no Christmas lights? Oh, funny you mentioned that. Hold on. And there is our fake plant over there. Funny you mentioned that. Ta-da! Look at that. So we don't really have Christmas lights, but we have that thing going on over there. Yeah. So this thing, I'm really proud of this setup. I think almost everything on here I found, except, okay, so the mic stand was lying around. I don't know why he just had that mic stand lying around there. It was just sitting there for whatever reason. So I put the mistletoe on there. I bought the mistletoe last year. I think it was like $2.99 from Trader Joe's. The everything else except the three candles I found. Or I rehomed. So yeah, the lights, the pine cones were from last year, the flowers, the little Christmas tree from last year, the bottle. That was actually his ex's bottle. And yeah. So I try to do things in a very budget conscious but also eco-friendly way. Oh yeah, I got yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I got my lights over here. See that? You guys probably can't tell. Hold on. Let me hook up the lights for you guys. You guys will see it. One moment. One moment. Where are the lights hooked up? Oh, here we go. Was this it? No, that wasn't it. Whoops. Wrong one. Oh, frick. Okay, so these are the studio lights over here. Oh gosh, it's so blinding. So there are my lights over there. You can see my fairy lights over there. See them? They're on. And then that's how it is. This freaking studio light is so freaking bright. I included that over there because when he has the studio lights on, I thought, frick, it's kind of We have no light on this side, so I included that little light. This only goes on though when the studio lights are on. Yeah. Ta-da. I know. YouTuber. Yeah, I don't consider myself a YouTuber. Oh, Clinton. Hello, Clinton. Yeah, that is bright. It's blinding. It's really freaking blinding. So, yeah. This is a fake plant, as you guys can tell. Uh, yeah, I might actually. I don't know. Part of me wants to get more fake plants, and I like having fake plants since I don't have to take care of it at all. It's really nice. That's just a growler from, I think it's a beer growler. Someone in my Buy Nothing group was getting rid of it, and I thought, hey, maybe I could use that as a vase, and sure enough, it worked as a vase. In the event that we have to go on a vacation, I don't want too many live plants around, since I don't want it to die. Yeah. Before you met Lois, did you feel any grief or despair? I think everybody has that concern. Everybody has that concern, like maybe they won't find a person. But my thinking is just be you. Just be you, and don't change yourself for another person. I know some people will be like, Erica, you should be a ThinkPad user. I'm like, no, I am a MacBook user, and I'm gonna stay as a MacBook user because I love my MacBook. So I am. Yeah, I think that it kind of provides balance in the universe, and it's really important to stay true to oneself. You can always be a better version of yourself. You can always be, on the path of self improvement, but never ever change yourself to try and attract another person. There are some people out there that I personally knew. I knew this one person who was single for the longest time, and they were a good person, but they just couldn't find anybody. And then they consider themselves to be kind of weird. Well, guess what? They found a person who was weird too. So when two weird people get together, then it works out, and they're both happily weird. And I think it's a beautiful thing. Don't lose your weirdness just to kind of conform to normalcy. Some people do that. Some people think like, oh yeah, if I want to get a chick, I need to have a nice car, or I need to be, this kind of guy. I need to work out, have big muscles, make a lot of money. Da 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 da. No, just be yourself. Let your natural self shine through, and see if someone likes it. If they don't, then yeah, find another person. Yeah. I also think it's very important here. You cannot, and from what I've seen through various people, people do not attract others until they are fully they kind of love themselves, and they're comfortable with themselves. There are some people, like, now that I'm older, I'm able to see this. There are some people who I see that are kind of tryhards. You can see that they're not authentically like that, but they kind of shape themselves to a certain way because that's the way they think people would like to see them, or that's the way they think they should be. Some of those people, they get into these hobbies, and you can tell they're not really into the hobby at all, but they're like, well, chicks like it, or people like this. And I just don't think it kind of lasts. Like, I've seen people who go to the gym, and they go to the gym thinking like, yeah, if I go to the gym, then girls are gonna be into me. But and then they end up still single, right? And then I kind of think of it this way: if you are going to the gym, but you are not going down the path that you feel like you should, or not really immersing yourself in activities that really bring out a lot of, I know this is really cliche, but a lot of joy in you, then just going to the gym isn't going to be doing much. There are some people who like going to, let's say, conventions, right? Anime conventions. They have, in my opinion, they have more of a chance of meeting people at, let's say, an anime convention, or just chatting someone up at, let's say, one of those anime screening rooms. If they're an anime fan, then, thinking like, yeah, I'm gonna walk down the street and a chick's gonna see my muscles. And yeah, just try to be around people who are kind of like you, or be around people that you find interesting. And even if they don't it's not the same. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, just be yourself. That's the best way I can say. Lewis always gives me a lot of crap. He's like, well, she's a MacBook user, and he should dump me for a ThinkPad user. And I just think to myself, like, yeah, good luck trying to find a ThinkPad user who's like me. Maybe he can find someone like me, but you and that's said in a joking manner, because he's not going to dump someone just because of their choice of computer. No one's going to dump someone just because they have, let's say, a Mazda instead of a Honda, right? And for a car, no one's going to be like, yeah, I hate Hondas, so I'm never ever going to date someone who has a Honda. So that kind of like makes me scratch my head when people first found out I was dating, and they're like, she's a MacBook user. Oh my goodness, sacrilegious. Jeez. And I'm like, yeah, so what? So what? He's trying to get me over to the ThinkPad side. I get it. He wants me to use a piece of hunk of plastic that's thick and heavy, and um he doesn't have to deal with. But my thinking is if I do get a ThinkPad, I don't really want to send it off to some repair depot to fix. I rather have someone who I know and trust to fix it in the event that Cleo needs some work. Yeah, people, you know what? I mean, I've seen some really dumb things. Let me think off the top of my head. Okay, so for instance, right? Like, let's talk about dating here. I've heard some really stupid things where some people will be like, I don't want to date this guy because this guy doesn't have a nice car, or I don't want to date that guy because, he looks a certain way, or um and I've always said it this way. Like, if you meet a nice guy and he, even if let's put it this way, if a woman meets a nice guy, right, she should try and see his personality shine, or see his quality shine, rather than say, hey, yeah, this guy, he doesn't look like Brad Pitt, he doesn't look like Chris Evans, or who else is there, who else, or Pierce Bronson, or that kind of thing. Like, it always, like, kind of blew my mind where I see women who want these high, these gorgeous looking men, and they only want to date gorgeous looking men, and they just kind of pigeonhole themselves into that. And like, they've been single, and they're like, yeah, I don't find a guy who's that attractive, or I'm not into this guy, he's not cute enough, or so I don't even want to give him a chance, even though my friends say he's a nice guy. It's like, well, the thing is that looks fade. And I think that even though it might suck for some guys to hear that, like, yeah, a woman's not interested in how a guy looks, I would say the guy is dodging a bullet, because the thing is that if a woman likes how a guy looks, and she's mostly interested in based on his looks, what happens if his looks fade, right? Will she instantly not be into the guy? And this goes both ways, right? For both men and women. Looks are fleeting, and from what my experience has been, I've seen people who are very attractive in my life, but based on how their personality is, or based on what they say, after based on their actions or what they say, I don't find them attractive. It's really something. I think looks are superficial, but what really makes a person beautiful or handsome or attractive is how their personality is, how they treat others. It's very, very important to treat people well. If you treat people like shit, and you think that you have a free pass just because of how you look or your resources, to me that's kind of a scumbag move. I've known people who have a lot of money, and then they lose their money, and once they lose their money, right, people just, like, say, screw you, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you're not as, rich as I thought you were. And that makes me really sad. There are people who are in positions, and then once they lose that position, people treat them differently. So for those kind of things, even though it sucks to see people kind of abandon them in that way, I think it's a good thing. You're able to see who's really there for you, who really cares for you as a person or who really respects you as a person. It's not just because of how you look or your position or the amount of money that you have. Uh, Yeah, yeah. I know so many women who are like that, who are like, oh, where'd all the good men go? Oh my gosh, don't even get me started. You know what the worst thing is? Okay, just being open here. There are people out there, there's some women out there who have this sense of entitlement about men. Like they only want men of a certain caliber. And I think to myself, what the hell do you have to offer to attract those men? Like think about, let's say, Jamie Dornan, right? The guy in 50 Shades of Grey. He was, he's a, he, let's say he was a real person, right? Let's say he's a real person and then he had that position. A guy who is, was he a billionaire? I forgot if he was I know he was definitely a multimillionaire, but a guy who is in that position, he is not going to waste his time with a dime a dozen kind of chick. Like if a guy is that loaded, he knows he can get, his pick of the chick in terms of women in the look department. He's going to have women throw themselves at him, and just like to be basically a nobody who's kind of snobby. It's like, well, I get my nails done and I get my makeup at Sephora. It's like, that's not going to pull it. That's not going to pull it. So, the odds are stacked against you. Even if someone is attractive, there is always going to be people who are more attractive out there. There are women who are way, 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 way more attractive than me, for instance. And I know that. And I know that, it's important to just kind of be realistic. If someone wants one of those like high caliber Brad Pitt, 6'1", six pack, kind of guy, it's really hard to find. I dated a guy who was a bodybuilder, and even he wasn't in peak six pack position condition all the time. Yeah, he dodged a bullet for sure. Can you imagine what happens if he lost his job? Like, imagine this, right? If a guy has good looks and then suddenly he doesn't age well, like he doesn't age like a George Clooney or a Johnny Depp, or he loses his hair, and even if he's the same person, a woman might be like, yeah, I'm not attracted to him anymore because he used to have a really great body and now he's not, or he lost his hair, so yeah, I'm gonna go upgrade for a younger guy or whatever. She's, oh, yeah, just don't just be with a person based on their looks. I always believe that. That one person that I know that is basically has he basically has his balls in a vice because of the that chick that he met, the chick who's not a U.S. citizen, that chick that I told you guys about. Like, for frick's sake, like, yeah, I think she's pretty, but is she so pretty that you turn away all your longtime friends, turn away your family members for her? Like, no, she's not that pretty. Lewis has seen a picture of her. He doesn't think she's on that caliber. I'm like, dude, this guy threw away almost everything for this one chick, and she doesn't work. So this guy's working two jobs. He doesn't really talk to most of his friends anymore. All he does is just spend his time with her. And yeah, he is under a lot of financial pressure, but he chooses to stay with her, even though there has been serious, reasons to think she might have been cheating on him in the past. I can't say about now. And yeah, he just looks the other way because she's attractive. I do not respect people like that. I really hope that this woman gets a dose of humble pie, and I think that when her looks fade, she will have a dose of reality. The thing is that I don't see this guy losing his attraction to her based on looks. I kind of think like he's so far in with what he has done and what he has kind of cast aside in his life, he cannot leave her because psychologically that would tell his mind like he really fucked up. You get what I'm saying? Like if you were that invested in a person and you made a grave mistake and you pushed away almost every single person that has supported you for a number of years just for this woman, it's hard to leave that kind of woman because then you would have to come up to the reality that you burned a lot of bridges with people. Yeah, a lot of people go through divorce because of rough economical situations. But here's the thing: I strongly believe this, and I've known people who have been in really rough economic situations. What matters is, does that couple think that they can weather things out long term? Because I think a strong couple has a lot of communication, and if they are encountering financial difficulties, they would say, hey, you know what, it absolutely sucks, we might lose this, we might lose that, but at least we have each other, and then they can weather the storm. I knew a couple that, and I really looked up to this couple. It was a guy who was a startup entrepreneur of sorts, right? He was starting his own company. This was back in the 90s, okay? And his his wife was taking care of the two kids. He was a go-getter, but he kept failing. It came to a point where they were living in a car. Now, that was just a period of time because of his determination, because of the fortitude that he had to try and succeed. This guy became a multimillionaire, and his wife, if you look at her, you would have never ever guessed that they had that kind of financial hardship. Like they had, a really strong relationship because, and she stood by his side, even though she could have easily divorced him, she chose not to. She slept inside of the car with the two kids, and they pinched their pennies until they got through the situation, and then he became successful, and yeah. So I think that's really, really important. You need to have a partner that can stick with you through thick, through thin. Um, if the money runs dry, or if the money runs dry, that's what they say in like the wedding vows. Through rich or through poor. Like that's really important. You cannot. I think that where there's a will, there's a way, or at least you can try to find a way. And it's important for couples to stay together or try to work through issues, not just shoulder all the burden onto one person only and then blame that person if something happens. That's one of the reasons why I do not respect that woman. That woman who my friend or my ex-friend, I don't know, like I have nothing really against him, but I question his choices that he makes. But yeah, we don't talk anymore for reasons, because he saw me as anti his wife, and I had very good reasons to be anti his wife. He told me that he thought she was cheating. I advocated him getting a divorce. I suggested that if he needs help, then I will find a way, or find how he can get a divorce done. I offered to stand by his side while he was going through this divorce process. He chickened out, and I guess when he spoke to her, he decided that I was the enemy because I suggested, hey, get a divorce if she's cheating on you. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I know that that woman, she I don't feel like she's really helping him through that situation. I saw pictures of the stuff that she had, and it's not cheap stuff at all. And if she's not working, and he's working two jobs, I can just only assume that he was bankrolling her. And it's sad because I think he's getting probably paid like $15 an hour working two different jobs. And yeah, um, it's like she shouldn't go ahead and use him in that way. It's like when I hear about certain of the things that she would do, like she didn't get her way, she would just, withhold certain things from him, certain needs that he had, and it just kind of messes with his brain. It's that kind of thing, that kind of level of manipulation I absolutely cannot respect. What started the stream? I was talking to you about how much I hate paperless billing. Yeah, it's a couple. It's people that I know personally. Yeah, so I think of it this way. I think it's important for people to support one another, encourage them to be, good individuals, push them to be on a higher level. If a person, I think that it's important for a couple to grow together, to not kind of like when they're together. I don't like to see people. This is my view. Like when I see people, I want them to go up together, not just like one person goes up and then the other person kind of goes down like that. You know. So I think both couples should be supportive of each other, and I think it's important for both people to be, on each other's like side, not one tearing the other down or making remarks to them that would just make them feel awful. Yeah. Yeah, no, I spoke to Lewis about it and I told him that his time is very valuable. I do not want, I think he has so much things that he can tackle on in the world. He should not have something like paper bills holding him back because this takes up a couple hours of time. It uses, it causes more headache. You do the pros and cons chart, and he agreed with me. And I told him, I said, look, I never want him to have to feel like this didn't go through, or an account was closed because we didn't get notification of some buggy auto payment thing. Yeah, I still don't know what caused the auto payment issue because there's money in that bank account, but yeah, it just didn't go through for whatever reason. So you got to call the bank and figure that out. Yeah, so Danny, talking about cheaters, yeah, so this woman was an international student. She had a boyfriend in Europe, okay? And they were doing a long distance relationship. She was in Hawaii. Her boyfriend, I think they met online. I'm not too sure. Probably, most likely. He was in Europe somewhere. And while she's in Hawaii, she meets, the guy, like my friend, right? And then my friend is so attracted to her, he tells me that she cheats on her boyfriend for him. And I think in his mind, he thinks to himself, like, yeah, it's, he scored because he got this hot chick, and, she's no longer with her boyfriend, her online boyfriend. She's with him. Like, that's a win, especially to a guy who's never had a girlfriend before. I can see why someone would be like, yeah, this is a really good woman, because she's out of my league. She's attractive. But what he didn't realize, and this is just my belief here, is that if a woman is willing to leave a guy who probably treats her very well for another guy who's just, in her proximity, right, who's conveniently in front of her, then that tells me that woman can't be trusted. So when he found out, or he told me that he had strong suspicions that she was cheating on him, I was not surprised at all. And that's one of the reasons why I recommended divorce. I thought, okay, so she went off to another state, so you guys could live in another state, but she made a friend on Tinder? And he's telling me, yeah, she makes friends on Tinder. And I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, what kind of bullshit is that? Like, who the hell makes friends on Tinder? Right? Oh, hello. I want to check out your state. Do you want to meet up? Let's be friends. Like, says nobody. Tinder is not known for that. You could go on like other websites if you want to have a pen pal or something. You don't have to, not Tinder. So Yeah, it just rubbed me the wrong way. Also, when I saw pictures of her online, she's usually in like lingerie. So, and because her job is not being a lingerie model or anything like that, I can only assume that she's taking those pictures and showing it offline because she likes having that attention from people. You know, she likes. I think that she liked taking those pictures and showing it off to people because she wanted to implant that idea in my friend that if he if she wanted to implant the idea in him that she had more power over him. She had more choices than he does. So yeah, people see a picture of a woman in lingerie, they'd be like, "Oh, you're so beautiful, you're so hot." Da 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 da. He sees that comment, he would think, "Oh crap, she can leave me at any time." It makes him feel powerless. I wish that he had enough confidence and power within himself to say, to hell with you, thought, be gone, thought. But he's not me, he's not me, and I would have no problem talking to her and saying, you need to have a little respect for your husband. You need to have respect for yourself. I understand that you think that it's great that you show off your assets and try and flirt with these other guys, but you're so disrespectful, and I really feel like you're using my friend. I think you're using him for U.S. citizenship. To be honest with you, to be honest. Lewis, you know what? Lewis says he has a Tinder profile. Yeah, yeah, whatever. No, they didn't have an open relationship policy. That wasn't it. He reached out to me because he had concerns that she was cheating. Yeah, so that's why I don't respect her at all. I see the destruction that this thought did, and yeah, if I could get some holy water and spray it on her and have her sent away, I would totally do that because I know how his life was before her. I know that he had so many people who loved him, family members who loved him. They were really there for him. His friends, he had so many friends that, yeah, were there for him for a number of years. People that I met, people that, they were, they wanted the best for him. And he threw it all away because once that woman felt that people were once that woman felt that the people in his life were against her for reasons, right? You can kind of sense these things. She turned him against them. So she kind of, in my opinion, she planted ideas in his head to say, look, these people don't want us together. Look, these people are, trying to bring you down, or yeah, it's really sad because the people that he had in his life, I can tell you this honestly, like they were not bad people at all. Uh, I don't know. I don't know if most women on dating websites are really guys on disguise. Who knows? I would highly suggest taking pictures and putting them on like tineye.com just to make sure. Make sure that the woman that you met or is actually just one woman. It's not this bikini model who's like, "Hey, I care for you so much and please send me iPhone 12 to this address," kind of thing. Yeah. So, yeah, it's been really eye-opening to me. I really feel strongly that if you do find someone, make sure that this person is someone that overall your friends like, that isn't divisive, that doesn't turn people against you, that once you have longtime friends that are good people, and if they start leaving a mass exodus or you start burning bridges with them for after you meet a chick, then maybe the problem lies in the chick and not those people. Phone dating to interact with guys? Wow. Phone dating. I don't even know they still do phone dating. Do they? Oh, hello there. Look who there. Look who that is. It's Blackberry, you guys. Hello, Blackberry. You're finally in the stream. People were asking about you. See, so she has no white whiskers, and she's smaller than Clinton. That's how you know it's Blackberry. Also, when you look at her paws, they look a little bit more delicate than Clinton's. They look more fragile. See? Yeah, I think Barry is so cute. And Oreo? God, I think Oreo is still sleeping. I think Tub Tub is still sleeping. That cat, he works. I don't know. His full-time job is sleeping. Oh, look at this. Lewis is oh, hello there. Hello there, Miss Blackberry. How are you? Oh, I can call Oreo fat easily. He is a Tub Tub. What a job. Oh, what are you doing, Barry? Hey, Barry. Look at this, Barry and Clinton. So if you look at Barry on this armchair, you can see that she takes up less space than Clinton. For sure. See? That's Barry. And that's Clinton. Yeah, Oreo is hibernating somewhere. Let me find him. Oreo. Oreo is just sleeping. Yeah. I was reading somewhere, people were joking. They said that they thought that Blackberry and Clinton were the same cat. I'm like, no, these are two separate cats. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna go end the stream, you guys. I need to get going on some chores, but it was nice talking to you guys. I have my Amazon Fresh delivery coming soon, so we will see. Oh my goodness! Whoa, wait, hold up a second. He hasn't tried humping Blackberry yet. Okay, so Partey, I'm gonna tell you this. So I have seen Clinton trying to get with Blackberry, but there was one problem with this. Clinton does not know how to line up. And let's say it this way. Clinton, let's say Blackberry is like this, right? Clinton will be on top of her, but he will be like this. And I'm like, Clinton, you need to line up. You know, if you want to be successful, you need to line up. But he kind of goes this way. And I know for a fact he doesn't have like 7 inches sideways. So he has urges, but he doesn't know what to do. And yeah, I told Lewis this. I said, you know, your cat doesn't know what to do. Oreo knows what to do, but the problem is that he's too slow. So I have seen I've seen Oreo actually on top of Barry, like he knows how to line up. But Clinton, if I ever took video of it, you guys would probably be like, oh goodness, the alpha cat doesn't know what to do. there is an urge there, but he does not know how to line up. And the worst thing too is that sometimes it's I'm like, oh, Clinton, this is hopeless, and this is hopeless. So I don't think I think if Clinton was not fixed, he still would not have kittens at all. Let's put it that way. Clinton would not need to be fixed because he would not know how to line up with Barry. So, Oreo, on the other hand, Oreo probably has a batch of kittens out there before he was. No, Blackberry's fixed. Clinton is fixed. Oreo's fixed. But my bet is Oreo has at least one kitten out there. Clinton, zero kittens based on what I saw. That's a little dirt on Clinton. He is the athletic cat. He is like the Chad of cats here. But he doesn't know how to use it. So he has a great body. He's very athletic. Zero chances of successfully procreating, even if he wasn't fixed. Yeah. Blackberry does not want to mate with Clinton or Oreo. The only male that she probably wants to mate with is the one that biologically cannot mate with her. So, yeah, she's not interested in these felines. No, I mean like I know he probably can't line up because what he needs to fill up the lineup is missing. Anja, I don't know about you, but I don't think this cat has something like this big here, okay? I've seen it, and it's like he'll tackle Blackberry on the ground, and then I'll see her this way, and I'll see him this way, and I'm like, Clinton, what the hell are you trying to do? Okay, I think my Amazon Fresh delivery is downstairs, so I will talk to you guys later. See ya.